And now, WWE Network presents Super Showdown Kickoff.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WWE Super Showdown Kickoff. We are in for a night of epic proportions as we come to you live from the WWE headquarters. The action all getting started in less than 1 hour from now with a special start time of 2 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't already heard, Super Showdown is going to be the equivalent, if not exceed, WrestleMania. So everybody hold on to your seats. Let's get things started today with an introduction to our lovely panelists. First off, this man. The question is, what doesn't he do? He's got a law degree from Harvard. He's a bodybuilder. He's an actor, former two-time tag team champion. He is David Otunga.
I am. You know, you're getting better with those intros every time. I love it. But I'm so happy to be here with you guys. This is an awesome show tonight. We have an awesome card. I can't wait.
And this lady over here, she has a lot to brag about as well. She is the newest addition to the NXT commentary team. Also, a WWE Hall of Famer, Beth Phoenix.
I feel like I have to work on my accolades to stack them up next to this young man right here. But when you talk about WrestleMania vibe, that's definitely what this feels like. I cannot wait to see what Super Showdown brings tonight.
Well, you know, what I just said at the top of the show, this will be the equivalent, if not exceed, WrestleMania. We all know the card. It is absolutely incredible. What are you most excited for?
I can't wait to see The Undertaker and Goldberg. I mean, these two guys I idolized growing up, and to see them both head-to-head tonight in the ring, I can't wait for this.
Yeah, totally. Definitely a dream match. But for me, I'm looking forward to most is Triple H and Randy Orton. These guys have been allies, they've been partners, and now they're enemies once again, and I cannot wait to see what that brings.
None of us can wait. Now, there is only one place to catch all of the Super Showdown action. That is on the WWE Network. So let's not waste any time. Everyone, right now, get on over to WWENetwork.com, sign up, start your free trial, because not only is Super Showdown free for new subscribers, you're also going to have free access to Stomping Ground going down later on this month. But let's talk about all of the excitement that's going to happen tonight. For the first time ever, it will be two legends taking center stage, The Undertaker versus Goldberg, each fighting to keep their legacies intact tonight.
And then, fresh off a championship celebration in his home country of Ghana, Kofi Kingston will defend the WWE Championship against the jealousy-fueled Dolph Ziggler, who claims he's just as deserving as Kofi.
And arguably the two most physically imposing titans of WWE, Braun Strowman takes on Bobby Lashley in a match of pure brute strength. Can this battle for alpha status be settled between two such combustible warriors here today?
And look, they don't call this a Super Showdown for nothing. Tonight, we have a 50-man, over-the-top battle royal. This is the largest battle royal in WWE history.
And the high-energy trio, the Lucha House Party, sets out to dismantle WWE's newest force of nature, Lars Sullivan, in a 3-on-1 handicap match. Sullivan says he'll use the Lucha House Party to show the world exactly what he is capable of.
And then, coming up on the Super Showdown kickoff, after weeks of pranks and having fun at the Revival's expense, tonight the Usos welcome the so-called top guys into the Uso Penitentiary.
And more to come. Andrade may have enchanted the WWE Universe with his athletic offense and charm, but faces his biggest career challenge to date after awakening the demon in Finn Balor. Has Andrade bitten off more than he can chew as he takes on one of the WWE's most mystical creatures?
And speaking of biting off more than he can chew, the big dog, Roman Reigns, claimed SmackDown Live as his yard with a Superman punch to Mr. McMahon. And ever since then, Shane McMahon has set out to show Reigns that it may be his yard, but it's on his property. Tonight, the best in the world has vowed to neuter the big dog.
And the cerebral assassin Triple H and the Viper Randy Orton have a long and storied history as allies and opponents. With two of the greatest mental strategists in the history of WWE, we can expect a chess game of vicious proportions.
And squaring off for the Universal Championship, the Beast Slayer, Seth Rollins, putting his title on the line against Baron Corbin. Now, we all know that Seth Rollins has a very tall task ahead, taking on Baron Corbin, who earned his way into this Universal Championship match by winning a fatal 4-way elimination match. But the question really on everyone's mind, what kind of condition is Seth Rollins going to be in? Definitely not at full strength after getting that brutal beatdown by the Beast in the Bank, Brock Lesnar, on Raw this past week.
Wait a minute! The time has come! Oh no! Lesnar marching to the ring and a referee in tow!
Come on, clear the way, hurry!
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I've been authorized by my client, Brock Lesnar, to advocate his position. Last Monday on Raw, Brock Lesnar took a steel chair and laid waste to Seth Rollins, but did not cash in the Money in the Bank contract, which led everyone to ask the question, why? Why didn't Brock Lesnar cash in the Money in the Bank contract? See, the week before WrestleMania, Seth Rollins kicked Brock Lesnar low. And then at WrestleMania, Seth Rollins repeated that sin and then stole the Universal title from Brock Lesnar. Do you think Brock Lesnar is going to let any being on this planet get away with that? Brock Lesnar took a steel chair on Monday and exacted a price from Seth Rollins because Brock Lesnar can. And now that Seth Rollins has paid that price, it's time for another price from Seth Rollins, the Universal Championship, because Brock Lesnar will cash in the Money in the Bank contract, and he will take the Universal title away from Seth freaking Rollins.
All right, let's focus in on Seth Rollins' mindset. I mean, there's no way he can be at 100% after getting beat down by Brock Lesnar on Raw. And also the threat of Brock Lesnar cashing in that contract has to be looming over him and serve as a bit of a distraction, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm going to say right now, there's no way Seth Rollins walks out of Super Showdown still the Universal Champion.
Wow.
There's no way. I mean, come on. You got to look at it like this. Physically, he's still hurting after that beatdown. I mean, with the steel chair, you got to know that. The guy left on a stretcher in an ambulance, went to a hospital. I don't even know if he should be competing in the match. And that's just talking physically. But then mentally, like you just said, Brock Lesnar is looming, carrying around that Money in the Bank contract. He could cash in at any time. Seth can't even focus on his opponent, Baron Corbin, 100%. So there's no way he walks out of here with the championship.
David, I got to disagree with you. I mean, I think you're totally glazing over what happened at WrestleMania this year. I mean, Seth Rollins has already done the impossible. He pulled one over on Brock Lesnar, defeated him, and taken a beating and came back stronger than ever. I know he's got a target on his back, but I think that's something that he's fully capable of overcoming. And I think that Seth definitely tonight, injured or not, I think he's a resilient superstar, and he's got to bring it to make this happen.
Okay, that may be, but let's look at it like this. If Seth is able to pull it together enough to beat Baron Corbin, you got to think that's going to take nearly everything he has. Let's say Lesnar then decides to cash in. I mean, Rollins is going to be running on E by that point. I don't know how much he's got left. And at Mania, you know, he was definitely 100%. He's anything but 100% tonight going into this. I think it's going to be a tall task, an impossible task.
Well, let's talk about Baron Corbin. How does he take advantage of the physical and mental state that Seth Rollins is likely going to be in tonight?
Well, I mean, this is the most vulnerable position I have ever seen Seth Rollins in. This works out perfectly for Baron Corbin. For all we know, that could be Brock Lesnar's plan. Let Corbin come in, beat up Rollins, because as we heard from Paul Heyman, that shared a lot of insight into Brock's mind. This isn't just about the Universal Championship. No. It's not just about regaining this. He's got a personal beef with Seth Rollins. He feels some type of way, you might say, about Rollins kicking him low, and that's why he was toying with him on Raw. Lesnar doesn't want to just regain the title. He wants to destroy Rollins. So I think this bodes very, very well for Baron Corbin.
Beth, do you have any?
Yeah, I would totally agree. I think taking nothing away from, I know Brock is obviously the looming threat in all of this and kind of the X factor in this, but I wouldn't take anything away from Baron Corbin. He did survive a fatal four-way match to get this opportunity. I mean, he himself is also a wily, smart superstar, and like I said, I think Seth Rollins has his work cut out for him. But again, I gotta say, I think Rollins has what it takes to survive Super Showdown and walk out the Universal Champion.
And what percentage do you give Brock Lesnar to actually cash in tonight? I mean, all he's been doing is playing games. Is he actually going to go through with it tonight?
You know what? I have to use my legal expertise
Please
here.
do.
And we understand that the contract gives you 365 days. Apparently, this was lost on Mr. Lesnar, and Paul Heyman thought he knew that. So there is nothing that is forcing him to cash it in. He could just, walk around and dangle this over Seth Rollins' head for 300 and some odd days.
He has every
now.
right to.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you on this one, David. I think that Brock is looking to play mind games, and I think Brock is reveling in this a little bit. I mean, we're seeing the Brock party, a new side of Brock Lesnar, where he's just like eating up every second of this fear, taking advantage of this target on Seth's back. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Brock tease it again, and it's just hard to get into his head and know exactly what he's thinking after what we saw on Monday.
Well, who knows what to expect in this Universal Championship match. Also happening tonight, the largest battle royal in WWE history of 50 of WWE's top competitors, all looking to earn some bragging rights and also some big-time prestige in this event tonight.
So today is the largest battle royal in WWE's history, and it's my chance to make the largest impression that I can. And although there's 49 other superstars in this match, there can be one winner and one only. And today, I do my best to make sure that that one winner is me.
Tonight, live from Jeddah, WWE Super Showdown. An opportunity awaits. The opportunity to be the man who holds the honor and the prestige of winning the largest battle royal in WWE history. 50 men will enter the ring and only one will be left standing tall. And that one man will be absolutely glorious.
Dolph Ziggler, he is looking to undo WWE Champion Kofi Kingston's legacy. The show-off returning to WWE to really expose Kofi as a sham and in turn finally get the recognition Dolph claims that he deserves by taking home the WWE Championship.
Kofi did it! Kofi is champion! 11 long years! It is time for a change!
It should have been me.
It's Dolph Ziggler!
Kofi won the WWE title and it should have been me. After 11 long years, Kofi became an overnight success. And he walked in to WrestleMania. And he won the WWE title, and it should have been me. That Super Showdown, I'm going to beat Kofi for the WWE title because I have to. Each one of you will admire me and respect me, and you will love me. Should be me.
Dolph Ziggler tried to end me. But guess what? Dolph Ziggler didn't finish the job. I thought that over the past 11 years of my career here, I thought that I had seen it all. I thought that I had done it all. As amazing as it was to win the WWE title, what is most important to me is to be able to inspire people to believe in themselves, to believe that anything is possible.
Kofi, this is about me. I gave everything to all of you. It's you who wins the WWE Championship, and it should be me!
You keep on saying that it should have been you. It will never be you.
What happens when I take that WWE title from you? It should be me. It will be me.
Well, you heard him. He said it should have been me. Dolph Ziggler, the man has earned so many accolades during his time in WWE. What the heck is he talking about not receiving recognition?
I don't know. It's been him. It's been him twice, in fact. I think what it is, Dolph is just salty. That's what it is. He's jealous of Kofi. He's jealous that the WWE Universe didn't embrace him. I mean, look at Kofi Kingston. Not just the WWE Universe. People everywhere, the entire universe has embraced Kofi Kingston. He just returned to his home country of Ghana for the first time in 26 years. Did you see how they greeted him? That's a hero's welcome. That is something that Dolph Ziggler will never get. That is why he's salty.
You know, I've known both of these guys since they began their careers with WWE. They're both such hardworking, dedicated people. But the difference, the main difference, I think, and you said it, you called it salty, but I feel that there's some bitterness that's festered in Dolph Ziggler, and it's kind of soured his talent and what he's really capable of because he can't get past that big chip on his shoulder. So unfortunately, going into this match with Kofi, I think it is truly all about him. He's got some sort of ego he needs to prove, and he's picked that target in Kofi, somebody that he knows really, really well. So I think that this is going to be a very volatile situation, and it's going to be accentuated by the fact that we have the WWE Championship on the line.
But you also have to look at where each of these superstars are allocating their time. I mean, Dolph Ziggler, of course, has a lot of other projects on his plate, which is great. But then you have Kofi over here who's dedicating himself full time to being a WWE superstar. So why is he not worthy of this title in Dolph's eyes?
Exactly. No, Kofi has earned this, and Dolph knows that Kofi has earned it. Dolph even said he would have been proud of him. On the one hand, he is, but he wishes it was him. And going back to what you're saying about allocation of time, I mean, come on. Kofi has been in here grinding day after day after day and improving. Ziggler, great talent, but also he's got his hands in other things. I mean, so you got to ask the question, does Dolph Ziggler really want to be WWE champion, or does he want to have a one-man show at the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory? You know, which is it?
Great question.
Good question, David. I mean, I would say that right now Dolph Ziggler is a dangerous man. He's angry, and we don't know what he's got up his sleeve, but I know that Kofi is not taking this challenge lightly.
All right, well, it is a rivalry that will surely unfold tonight. And we also have another rivalry that is intensifying. Andrade, tonight he attempts to dethrone Finn Balor of his Intercontinental title reign, but here's the difference. Tonight he must do it against the Demon, Finn Balor. All right, well, the Demon, Finn Balor, this is the huge difference maker in this match. You know, Andrade has seen Finn Balor. He has defeated Finn Balor. He has not defeated the Demon.
No, he has not. And I love it every time the Demon shows up. It's not often, but when he does, it's a sight to behold.
Well, what do you say we take a moment right now to take an up-close look at exactly what the Demon is all about?
There's a fire deep down in my soul, bringing me to life. I feel like it's my time.
The Demon Finn Balor, truly a sight to behold. Do you think that the Demon tonight is going to be more of a physical or a psychological threat for Andrade?
This is definitely going to be a psychological threat. I mean, Andrade, he's been in the ring with Finn Balor before. He kind of knows what to expect physically, but the Demon, this is a whole new ball game. This is a deep, dark place that Finn has to tap into just to get into the Demon. It reminds me of Bruce Banner when he turns into the Incredible Hulk. Like, this is something completely, entirely different. But then it begs the question, like, is Finn able to handle it and control the Demon? I don't know. Maybe it makes him even that much more dangerous.
Absolutely.
Huge. I mean, I agree with all that, David. But Finn's spoken to the fact that he does need to tap into that deep darkness within him, that mystical creature that exists. And the Demon. I mean, he said that the Demon moves differently. He's more aggressive. So I would argue that it does give him a little bit of a physical advantage. But again, Andrade's been scoping this. Andrade is aware of the challenge that the Demon brings. So.
All right, well, Seth Rollins has a big match ahead of him, but he has a few things he wants to get off of his chest before his upcoming Universal Championship match against Baron Corbin.
Seth, before we touch on Paul Heyman's comments, the obvious question is, how you feeling?
Well, Byron, if you're asking if I'm 100% or not, I got to be honest with you, the answer is no, and truth be told, what man would be 100% after what Brock Lesnar did to me with the steel chair on Monday night? But as for my health, it is what it is, man.
Well, everyone expects Brock Lesnar to be here tonight at Super Showdown to cash in his Money in the Bank contract. How's that affecting your preparation for Baron Corbin?
When I took this title from Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, I said I was going to be a fighting champion. So I came here to Super Showdown to be exactly that, a fighting champion. Now, say what you will about Baron Corbin. A lot of people say a lot of things, but tonight, he is my opponent. Tonight, he is the #1 contender, so I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to face Baron Corbin. I'm going to stomp Baron Corbin's head into the mat. I'm going to beat Baron Corbin and retain my title. And if Brock Lesnar keeps his word, Paul Heyman keeps his word, Brock does cash in, Byron, I'll be ready for the beast.
All right, well, Seth Rollins brimming with confidence ahead of his Universal Championship showdown with Baron Corbin. But we still have so much more to come on the Super Showdown kickoff. We've got the explosive tag team match going down between the Usos and the Revival, and it will be live right here on the kickoff.
My name is too big to start small.
She was the first real major superstar we had.
From the very beginning, I was setting out to do something that no one had ever done.
Ronda Rousey is here! When she came back from the WrestleMania moment with Rock, I saw her get the bug then.
Everything in her life has been leading up to her getting to WWE because this was her destiny.
I had this huge opportunity, and I had to succeed, not just for myself, but for all of the women that would come after me. The pressure was on more than ever. I became obsessed with proving everyone wrong.
Revolutionary, the year of Ronda Rousey. Special encore presentation immediately following Super Showdown. Streaming only on WWE Network. As always, WWE Network is free for new subscribers.
All right, what do you say now we turn our attention to the 3-on-1 handicap match that's taking place between the gritty Lucha House Party and the man who's been wreaking havoc all over WWE, that man, of course, being Lars Sullivan. Guys, Lars, he is a wrecking ball of a human being. He does whatever he wants when he wants, and he has taken a lot of that aggression out on the Lucha House Party. But we did see the Lucha House Party the other night having some success against Lars Sullivan. So have they finally cracked the code and really figured out the numbers game and what it takes to be successful against a man like Lars?
I wouldn't say successful. They didn't get beat.
They didn't get pummeled, sure.
Right, that's what it was. But I wouldn't say successful. Have they cracked the code? No. I mean, let's be honest here. They're going to have to use their numbers and their speed and agility, all three of them, and just try to tire him out and make him dizzy. But the reality is, if he gets his hand on one of them, he'll probably get his hands on all three. It's it. That's it. It's a wrap. It's over.
I think
Done.
a big problem for the Lucha House Party is we're just kind of getting to know Lars Sullivan. We're not really sure of what he's capable of. I mean, we saw him have words on SmackDown where he talked about like a trigger for him. And I mean, that trigger could be a good thing that the Lucha House Party could take advantage of, or it could unlock a monster that we haven't seen yet from Lars Sullivan. So I would venture to guess the Lucha House Party better tread lightly and really strategize when they're stepping in the ring tonight.
So you're saying we have not seen the worst from Lars Sullivan yet?
I would argue, no, we have not.
All right, well, we will find out more about that a little bit later on, but for right now, we've got 50 competitors all looking to win the largest battle royal in WWE history. Let's hear from a couple of them right now.
Oh, big doors.
Let's get it.
The blue-collar solid boys, heavy machinery have arrived.
Oh, yeah.
We're in Jeddah.
Oh, yes.
And I think it's fitting that the biggest tag team in WWE is competing tonight in the Battle Royal. That's the largest in WWE history.
Wait a kid. 50 men. That's 1 plus 500 toes.
Oh, 500 toes.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a lot of toes. And you know what I'm thinking? I know what we got to do.
Yeah.
We got to get 480 toes over the top rope.
Get him out of here.
Yep. And then, and only then, you and I. Because it's a battle royal. Every man for himself. We got to figure out whose 10 toes are standing tall.
Well, better watch your toes.
You need to watch your toes.
Everybody better watch their toes, because heavy machinery is coming!
You have seen me fight Shinsuke Nakamura. You have seen me go toe-to-toe with The Undertaker. But tonight, you will see me win the largest battle royal in the history of WWE in Rusev Crush!
All right, now let's move on to a match that everybody is talking about tonight. It is a rivalry renewed between two men who went from allies to sworn enemies. The Game, Triple H, taking on the legend killer Randy Orton in what promises to be their greatest clash to date.
Randy Orton, the coal that will be squeezed into the next diamond.
Triple H ruined my life, so I made a vow to ruin his.
This is personal.
Get a look at greatness!
In case you've forgotten, let me tell you just who the hell I am.
Decades of dominance.
The destiny begins now. Big things in the future from that youngster. Triple H has realized his dream.
The youngest world champion.
Two-time Rumble match winner. 13-time world champion.
14-time WWE champion.
Vanquishing the best. Raising the game. Ascending to the apex.
I had to scratch and claw until I became the guy.
I am willing to do whatever it takes.
Sadistic. Cold. Calculating.
The cerebral assassin, as deadly as they come.
No remorse.
I am more dangerous than I have ever been.
No morality.
Those that don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
One objective. To stand above all.
In this industry, just like in life, everything evolves.
The Viper. The King of Kings. Their evolution continues. Adapt or perish.
A lot of people have tried to put me down. They're all gone. You are not the one.
You'll see that there is nothing more lethal than the three most destructive letters. R-K-O.
The rivalry renewed. Triple H and Randy Orton.
These two competitors, they have said it all to each other. They have done it all to each other. So what will this match add to their already storied history?
Well, you know, going back to the days of Legacy, Triple H was pretty much a mentor to Randy Orton. Taught him a lot. He saw greatness in Randy. They know each other so well. It reminds me of like the big brother and the little brother. The little brother is always chasing after the big brother and wants to prove himself. And that's what I feel like this match is tonight, is Randy Orton, the little brother, trying to prove himself to the big brother that he's the man now.
I feel like, David, that's a really sweet way to put it, because I don't see any brotherly love between these two men. Like, granted, they know each other, but I think there's also like, there's a battle for respect that contains disdain. And I think especially coming from Randy Orton, no little brother wants to be told that he's second, you know what I mean? And so I feel like in that situation, Randy wants to prove himself against Hunter and possibly, you know, bust out that legend killer persona and put Hunter out for good.
Okay, so they're brothers, but obviously from a dysfunctional family.
Okay.
How about that?
There you go.
But going back to the respect thing, you know, that's the thing. Everybody respects Triple H. Randy respects Triple H in the ring. But what's interesting is the little brother, he's not intimidated by the big brother. He's not intimidated by Triple H like everybody else is. That's going to work in Randy's favor. And as you could hear in his promo, he respects him in the ring, but he doesn't necessarily respect him for his new role in the office. I mean, you heard what he said about retrieving certain things out of Stephanie's purse. So, I mean, that's something only a little brother could say to a big brother. It's not sweet.
You know, that's something that we talked about before the show. You know, this match holds a lot of nostalgia for WWE superstars like yourself, also WWE fans. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I got to sit and watch and enjoy these guys headline WrestleMania.
Wow.
You know, so it's a moment, like I said, when we talk about Super Showdown and the feeling and the way we have this WrestleMania vibe going on, like this is one of those matches that triggers that for me, because I remember hearing 80,000+ people, you know, cheering during their match, and it was just such a special moment. And to see these two competitors get to go out and do it again, you know, there's going to be nothing like it.
David,
one of the cool things about this match is also they're pretty evenly matched. Like, it's really hard to pick a winner going into this. It could easily go either way, and I love that about these two.
All right, well, we still have a lot coming up here on the Super Showdown kickoff. We are going to be looking at the huge matchup. When I say huge, I really do mean huge, all going down between Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley.
Inspired by millions. Feel like a champion. And so much more. Find what fits you at WWEshop.com. Today only. Buy one t-shirt, get one for $1.
All right, well, this match can only be described as a massive collision. It's all going down when the monster among men, Braun Strowman, takes on the almighty Bobby Lashley with some huge bragging rights on the line. I mean, massive is only one small way, we'll put it, to describe it. Look at
Exactly.
these numbers.
Look at these numbers. Oh my gosh, that's why they call him the monster among men. He's a mountain of a man. 6'8", 340. But then Lashley, he's a little bit more compact, but just as strong. And then look at the bicep sizes. Both of them with over 20-inch biceps. That's a big deal right there.
David, you know what? I think that bicep size might have a lot to do with how Braun Strowman was able to come out on top this past week on Raw. We all saw that good old-fashioned arm wrestling match. You know, that's a very traditional test of strength. And here we saw that Braun Strowman taking home the cake, putting Lashley down, but Lashley, he wasn't just going to give up that easy, I don't think.
Look at the confidence on Strowman. And then Lashley took a shot to his ego, has to come back and just beat him down. Shows him, look at this, wants to exert his own power, picking Strowman up. I haven't seen Strowman manhandled like that ever before.
Wow. You know, these two men, they're both behemoths. I mean, two of the largest men in WWE. My question to you both is, what are these men out to prove tonight? I mean, we just saw they can't even get through an arm wrestling match without an issue. So what's tonight going to look like?
Well, I think this is a battle of egos. It really is. I mean, it's big guy heat. And I'll explain that. It happens in the locker room. It happens in the gym. There can only be one biggest guy. Like, if there's a big guy in the gym and another big guy walks in, got to size each other up. Like, hey, man, you know, those are going to be my 200-pound dumbbells over there. So you got to do what you can to stand out and be the top guy. And that's what this is all about.
Yeah, I totally agree, David. I mean, I've experienced big girl heat, too. There's a little bit of that going on, too, in the ladies' locker room.
Yeah.
But you know what? I got to say, it's two alphas going at it. And, I mean, did you see the rage on Bobby Lashley's face? And, like, that feeling, I just picked up Braun Strowman and tossed him like a sack of potatoes. I mean, I could see this being a huge combustible element. And these two guys, they're two warriors. So I'm really excited to see how the ring contains these two massive men.
Well, you know, you just spoke about egos, and I think ego is going to be a big buzzword in another matchup we have going on tonight that is happening between Roman Reigns and Shane McMahon, the big dog, out to prove that SmackDown Live is his yard, while Shane O'Mac is intent on punishing Reigns for his actions against the McMahons and what he says is his universe.
You only get one shot at making a first impression. So I figured on my first night on SmackDown Live, I'd do exactly that.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
I'm just out here to remind you that the McMahon family owns all the land.
No, your daddy owns the land.
Roman Reigns, you hit my father, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. My father is one of the greatest men that have ever lived. My father, Vince, is like a national treasure. What type of man hits another man's father like that? And there's gonna be repercussions.
And look at, wait a minute! Shane McMahon!
The issues have carried over to Monday Night Raw, laying waste to an already battered big dog.
I'm not the best in the world because I won a trophy. I'm the best in the world because I was born that way. See, Roman, I am sick and tired of you walking around here, you thinking you can break all the rules. You see, the McMahon family has been putting food on your entire family table for generations. When you came down here and hit the chairman of our company, you bit the hand that feeds you.
I don't know about y'all, but I hate spoiled rich kids. If you have beef with me, I say we squash it right here in this ring tonight.
Well, Shane's ready to go.
I do what all spoiled rich kids do, and I do what I want, when I want.
The best in the world!
But I accept your challenge, and that is gonna happen at Super Showdown.
After Super Showdown, you're gonna say what everybody else says around here. I just got my ass kicked by Roman Reigns.
There is nothing between Shane McMahon and Roman Reigns. Claymore from Drew McIntyre.
The last thing that you will be hearing at Super Showdown is this. The winner of this match and
the best in the world, Shane McMahon!
At Super Showdown, I'm not only gonna beat you, I'm gonna beat some respect into you.
So Shane really intent on punishing Reigns for the actions against his father, Mr. McMahon, but I've seen a lot of disrespect coming from Shane McMahon as well, so what's up with this?
Well, I mean, Roman came out and made his presence felt, and he claimed SmackDown Live as his yard. I mean, he Superman punched Mr. McMahon in the face. I mean, if that doesn't make a statement, I don't know what will. So you can't really blame Shane for then defending his father's honor, although it is a little bit hypocritical after what he did to Mrs. Dad, but I digress. But that's why he's had a target on Roman Reigns.
Yeah, Shane's got a little selective morality, I think, when it comes to his decision making. But hey, we've seen it over the years. The McMahons, you know, they quabble, they fight, they've had wars with one another. But when it comes to outside forces messing with the family, they tend to line up and defend each other. And so I could see why Shane picked this hill to die on. And, you know, he made a statement, a very, very strong statement about what he was going to do to the big dog, and we'll see if he's going to go through with his threats.
Yeah, Shane has made quite a few strong statements that he's going to neuter the big dog and that he's going to make Roman Reigns tap out.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Let's not get crazy here. I don't think I've ever seen Roman Reigns tap out. I mean, Shane talks a big game, but we all know that Drew McIntyre is backing him up, and he's the one that does the heavy lifting. Shane McMahon reminds me of Drake, bouncing around, cheerleading, while Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors, they do all the winning. That's what this is.
So I guess we're going to find out tonight whether Drew McIntyre is the difference maker here in this match tonight between Roman Reigns and Shane McMahon. But let's say a little thank you to Godsmack right now for When Legends Rise, the official theme song of WWE Super Showdown. And speaking of legends, one of the marquee events tonight, for the first time ever, two WWE legends meeting face to face. It is going to be a match you only thought you were going to see in your dreams, but tonight it becomes a reality. It's The Undertaker taking on Goldberg tonight at the Super Showdown.
This guy. We have never seen a man quite like this. He is truly superhuman. You're not going to find any man in any sport more intense than Goldberg. He is the epitome of WrestleMania. Put another mark in the win column. Goldberg remains unbeaten. The Undertaker's legend grows. The greatest champion in WCW history. The Phenom. The iconic Goldberg.
Throat is dry, my vision's fading. I'm paralyzed and left here waiting, taking time, just one step forward, won't lose my mind. I'm here to stay. It's burning down, it's burning high. When ashes fall, the legends rise. We burn it out, a mile wide. When ashes fall, the legends rise.
I don't want the family man. I want the unstoppable icon, Goldberg. I will claim your soul for all of eternity. Taker, I can guarantee you're gonna get that ass kicking, Goldberg. We will all find out once and for all who the better man is. Goldberg, you're next. The Undertaker, rest in peace.
The Undertaker will take on Goldberg for the first time ever.
The Undertaker making it very clear he expects the unstoppable icon version of Goldberg, not the family man. Will he get that from him tonight?
You know what? Honestly, I don't think it matters. And I'll tell you why. The unstoppable version, obviously awesome. But the present version, the family man Goldberg, look, that's a hard guy to stop. Being a father myself, I know what it's like to do something so you want your son to watch you and to see you as a hero. That's incredibly motivating. I think this is going to be the all-time best Goldberg.
You know, absolutely, David. I completely agree with you. That father's love driving him, it's awesome. But I am concerned because Goldberg's forte is finishing matches quickly. He normally demolishes his opponents. However, there is no opponent that rises quicker than The Undertaker. So if this match ends up going long and Goldberg is still in it, I have a feeling it's going to weigh on the side of The Undertaker.
Well, both of these two superstars have legacies they definitely want to protect. But right now, we are ready to see the Usos take on the Revival. So let's throw things over to our wonderful commentary team who are ringside at the Super Showdown. Let's get to it.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the King Abdullah Sports City Stadium in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I'm Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Renee Young, and yes, it's a bit toasty, about 100 degrees here, but we are so excited to be a part of this historic event.
The good news is it's hot right now, but the temperature is going to keep rising. All of the superstars are super excited to come out here and do what they do best for the WWE Universe.
Including Jimmy and Jay.
This is a way to kick it off, boys.
And we are going to be jam-packed here tonight. A late arriving crowd on this Friday night here in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, as we approach the 9 o'clock hour. And the Usos are set for tag team action.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, at a combined weight of 479 pounds, Jimmy and Jay, the
As the Usos get set for tag team action here, we mentioned a temperature which will be a factor throughout the night here at WWE Super Showdown. The actual air temperature here in Jeddah, which is on the Red Sea, is 94 degrees. But down here in the bowl of this stadium where our superstars are performing, the temperature will feel like 102.
Woo, I don't know if my Canadian body can handle that. We'll see what happens during this pay-per-view.
Jimmy and Jay were running around in the stadium, shirts off today, playing soccer, enjoying themselves, getting ready for tonight.
Yeah, but it's go time now. Jimmy and Jay know what stands in front of them. A couple of top guys, one of the best tag teams in the world.
And their opponents at a combined weight of 446 pounds. Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, the Revival!
And for Renee, this has become personal for the Revival.
Oh my God, it's non-stop between the Revival and the Usos. The Usos just playing mind games, toying with the Revival, getting in their heads. We've got Usi hot. We've got back shaving happening. It's just one thing after another, trying to cement themselves as the top team here in WWE.
Now what we're going to get to see is two sets of tag team specialists, arguably the two best tag teams in the entire world on a bright stage like Super Showdown, battling for supremacy. It's not about sophomoric pranks. It's not about mind games. It's about who is the better tag team.
Now they've had plenty of time to suss each other out as well, so we're going to have a hell of a brawl.
We are less than 12 minutes away from the official start of WWE Super Showdown. We are glad you could join us on the kickoff show tonight from King Abdullah Sports City Stadium in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The Revival as well, Corey, over the past couple of weeks, have had this soft alignment with Shane McMahon, which has got him involved in the Usos in the situation with their cousin Roman Reigns.
This comes down to top guys doing top guy things. The Revival want their just due, and they realize being aligned with the best in the world, Shane McMahon, only helps their causes being recognized.
It's certainly a smart way to try to get a championship matchup.
And the Raw Tag Team Champions of Hawkins and Ryder are here. They will be part of the 50-man over-the-top rope battle royal, the largest battle royal in WWE history, a little bit later on tonight. So you know they're looking on because one of these teams could be next in line for a tag team championship opportunity.
It's just a matter of which one of these teams is going to get there first.
Back to how personal this rivalry's become between both teams. Incredible height. The Revival looking for a measure of redemption after being humiliated, but Jimmy and Jay were on the receiving end of a beatdown this past Monday on Raw alongside their cousin Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and they have not forgotten.
Look out!
As Dawson and Wilder are tossed over the top rope, and the Usos are in control.
I can't wait to see what Roman Reigns when he brings the pain to Shane O'Mac a little later on tonight.
Yeah, don't forget, Drew McIntyre will be lurking at ringside.
Jimmy and Jay certainly with the upper hand at the early minutes of this matchup. Dawson and Wilder looking for respite on the outside, but finding absolutely none.
You can hear the Uso chants from this capacity crowd here tonight in Jeddah.
Jeddah got up on their feet for the Usos tonight. The Revival, not so much.
Line tag.
And look at Wilder now, the legal man, and the Revival doing what they do best, textbook tag team wrestling. Wilder in with an elbow right to the sternum. Here's the cover. Is it enough to put him away? And a kick out at 2.
This is key Revival starting to shut down the ring. Keep Jimmy on the other side.
But the same can be said for the Usos. Both of these teams are looking to cut the ring in half, isolate their opponents from their partner. That is tantamount when you're dealing with 2 sets of tag team specialists. Jimmy Uso down in the corner, victim of a stomping by both members of the Revival.
And again, the double team continues. Scott Dawson now, the legal man.
It is hard to deny the chemistry of these guys here.
Kick out, Revival, former Raw Tag Team Champions. The Usos, of course, 6-time Tag Team Champions in WWE.
The Usos, no matter what, are going to go down as one of the greatest tag teams in the history of WWE.
There's no questioning that, but Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, they want to be in that same conversation. They want to be the first ballot Hall of Famers, so to speak, someday.
Well, maybe Shane O'Mac can help him with that.
A high elbow dropped Jimmy out of the ring, and now Wilder takes advantage. You see the official dealing with Dawson and Jey Uso. Tell you, Dawson and Wilder so technically supreme. Cover off the suplex and a kick out.
Everything Scott Dawson does is with a purpose. There's so much snap behind all of his movements. Just a little bit of extra torque, a little bit of extra aggression, raking the wrist tape across the eyes of Jimmy Uso.
He's just being broken down right now.
And this is just insult to injury. Scott Dawson has the submission hold applied, and all Jimmy can do is stare at Jey.
WWE Universe looking on. We're 8 minutes away from the official start of WWE Super Showdown. Abdominal stretch now applied by Scott Dawson. You know who would do well in the commentary booth out here at Super Showdown?
Who's that?
Our broadcast colleague, Pat McAfee, because you could do the show in shorts.
Finally! You get in trouble for it.
And look at Jey Uso desperately trying to make a tag. Jimmy creates a little bit of space and separation here, but can he get to the corner?
Just look how quickly, almost instinctively, the tag was made. Uh-oh. Jimmy with an opportunity.
Could have an opening here.
Oh!
Time to make a move.
Wilder's rocked.
Wilder's got to get to Dawson and make a tag. This is a huge opportunity for Jimmy.
Jey Uso's ready to go. We got fresh legs on the outside.
They trying to rally the WWE Universe.
And now the action happens. Look at this. Jey Uso picking it up a notch. Samoa drop, classic Usos. And they are fired up here.
Jetta's loving this tonight.
Dawson's in trouble in the bottom turnbuckle. I think we know what comes next.
Jey Uso's about to bring the pain.
Boom!
It's become a family tradition. The backup in the corner, cover now on Dawson. Isn't enough? Kick out again. And again, this is a crucial matchup, guys, because all the tag teams are jockeying for an opportunity at Ryder and Hawkins, the tag team gold.
Yeah, you definitely got to imagine that Ryder and Hawkins got a keen eye on this matchup here tonight. Scout out the rest of the competition here.
Just a momentary hesitation by Jey Uso cost him. It's just how dangerous Scott Dawson is, a veteran, so aware of his surroundings at all times.
Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh, Wilder knocked off the top rope, hit the apron hard. And now the Usos, flying crossbody.
This is it.
Lateral press hooks, both legs, got him, kick out by Dawson at 2, and air fall.
Jey Uso half a second away for earning the victory for his team. Once again, Scott Dawson in peril. Dash Wilder on the outside trying to re-strategize. You can never count the Revival out of any tag team match until the final bell rings. They're always scheming, always plotting.
Looks like Jay's got another idea here.
Going to the well once again.
Backing it up, nobody home. Scott Dawson able to roll out of the way.
Wilder with an assist.
Dawson lands on his feet. And Wilder ducked off the apron before he got
inside cradle.
Now, and I believe the Usos got a beat. Jay's got a beat.
4, 5.
And Wilder with the official.
Oh my goodness.
Hi, Dash.
Jey Uso got a legitimate gripe, but
Five buster. Dawson, cover. Enough for the window and a kick out.
Anyone with eyes can tell you, the Usos just picked up a victory, but very cagey work by Dash Wilder on the outside of the ring, keeping the referee tied up, allowing Scott Dawson an extra few seconds to recover.
And the Revival doing exactly what they like to do. Slow the pace down.
All their movements so methodical.
Double team.
Speaking of, here we go.
Great agility, but nobody. Oh, there he was. Jimmy Uso at the last possible second makes himself in position.
Super kick to the face. Dawson, though, caught this one. Big right hand. And he paid for it.
That connected. So did that.
Super kicks in stereo.
Wilder. Wilder dropped in the middle of the ring. Here's the cover for the win. Isn't it enough? Got it!
Here are your winners, the Usos!
Jimmy and Jay starting things off right here at Super Showdown on the kickoff show.
All about bragging rights, all about tag team supremacy tonight. Jimmy and Jay Uso proved to be the better team on the big stage at the Super Showdown.
We'll be back here at ringside in a matter of moments for the start of Super Showdown. The Usos with a big victory here tonight.
All right, there you have it. The Usos locking the Revival up in the Uso Penitentiary.
Uso? Man, those guys are awesome.
Wow, that environment there looks unbelievable. The crowd is going wild. The energy at an all-time high. I mean, tonight is going to be awesome.
Yeah, you can feel it. I mean, it's got that big event feel like a WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, hot literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about just a couple of the matches people can expect to see tonight. I know the first one we've got Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon, the best in the world.
Yeah, Roman Reigns claimed SmackDown Live as his yard with a Superman punch to Mr. McMahon. And ever since then, Shane McMahon has set out to show Reigns that it may be his yard, but it's on his property. Tonight, the best in the world has vowed to neuter the big dog.
All right. Now we've got a couple thoughts I think we want to give in terms of this match. You know, we talk about, is SmackDown Live going to belong to the big dog if he does indeed lose to Shane tonight?
Well, I mean, I think what it's going to come down to is Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
He's the difference maker in this match because the big dog not only has to worry about the best in the world, but he has to worry about that Scottish psychopath out there.
All right, how about this other big match coming up? We got Triple H taking on Randy Orton.
That's right, Triple H, the King of Kings. Can his intimidation tactics get into the head of Randy Orton, or will the Viper strike and walk out of Super Showdown victorious?
Well, we've already talked about how much nostalgia this holds for WWE superstar, WWE fans alike, but there is another matchup on the card that I think will be equally as nostalgic and also a dream match in the eyes of every single person in the WWE universe. You know I'm talking about The Undertaker going up against Goldberg. It is going down for the first time ever. An epic encounter, two legends taking center stage. The Undertaker versus Goldberg, each fighting to keep their legacies intact. Now, what a match. No one, I don't think at this point, ever expected to see these two take the ring together. But now that it's all happening tonight at the Super Showdown, I gotta ask both of you, who did you idolize more growing up?
Growing up, I mean, obviously, I idolized Goldberg. Like, I remember being in high school, my gym partner and I, we first started working out. When we worked traps, we called them Goldbergs. Like, we'd get to the gym and he'd be like, hey, we're doing Goldbergs today. Oh, I already knew what that meant. But that's how much of an impact it was to me.
Yeah, Goldberg had an iconic physique, but The Undertaker, man, there's just something magical, something really, really special about hearing that gong and feeling those goosebumps go up your arms. If you haven't been there to see Undertaker live, it is a spectacle.
I think personally, I say The Undertaker's who I idolize more, but tonight, for the first time ever, The Undertaker versus Goldberg. So much excitement going down tonight at the Super Showdown on the WWE Network. Everybody, enjoy the show.
Legends rise.